Fierce political battles continued at South Korea's National Assembly throughout the first 2 days of government questioning sessions, which is centered on the Middle East impact on the economy, politics, and other various aspects. Now, heated debates between the main and opposition parties were also seen as they questioned government officials on key items. For more, we turn to our correspondent, Ahn Sung-jin. Welcome back, Sung-jin.
Thanks for having me, Dami.
So, Sung-jin, like I said, the first day focused on national security, politics, unification. What were some of the key points discussed?
Right, so the first day, which especially stressed the government's diplomatic role and multilateral efforts amid the Middle East conflict, emphasized the government's efforts in maintaining crude oil supply and clarified that it has not engaged in any discussions regarding the potential toll fields to be able to pass through the Strait of Hormuz. Now, it mostly discussed the government's proposed supplementary budget drafted in response to the ongoing conflict in the Middle East. Now, this plan proposes spending around 26.2 trillion Korean won, or 17.4 billion US dollars, to alleviate the impact on the public, SMEs, and businesses in general. The ruling Democratic Party continues to highlight the Lee Jae-myung administration's pragmatic diplomacy and efforts for economic stability.
In situations of conflict like this one, it is necessary to institutionalize prior consultations or joint impact assessments when relocating U.S. forces Korea for the Korea-U.S. alliance.
Both countries must continue to communicate closely to sustain a strong and healthy Korea-U.S. alliance.
Now, on the other hand, the main opposition People Power Party criticized the government's handling of the Middle East situation while opposing the extra budget proposal as excessive spending and calling for cuts. One lawmaker questioned South Korea's stance on the Middle East.
Shouldn't our country also formally state its position of rejecting a war of aggression in relation to the Iran conflict?
Whether the conflict constitutes a violation of international law or a war of aggression is still undetermined. We are taking our position carefully.
So the first day was focusing on South Korea's diplomatic efforts, and the second day, like you said, was focused on the economy and energy supply. Tell us more about the second day, Sung-jin.
Right, so just as you mentioned, the second day, which just took place yesterday, emphasized the country's energy stability. The ruling Democratic Party continued to stress its efforts on examining broader measures tied to energy security and the economy by expanding shipping routes, including passage through the Red Sea, and diversifying supply sources and regions. It added that the situation has accelerated a transition toward renewable energy to reduce structural reliance on fossil fuels.
Could instability in naphtha supply lead to a situation in which our industries are forced to halt operations?
We are carefully monitoring to ensure that these industries are not affected.
Now, similar, the main opposition People Power Party once again argued that key components of the budget proposal, such as subsidies to offset high energy prices and funding for renewable energy projects, are mere cash handouts for electoral purposes.
There are growing concerns that with liquidity already on the rise, pushing through an additional supplementary budget could further expand money supply and put pressure on the exchange rate.
Liquidity is one of several factors affecting the exchange rate and should not be overlooked, but we will conduct further analysis for its correlation.
Now, Sung-jin, we still have one more day of a government questioning session left. How is that looking to unfold?
Right, so right before that, we have a plenary session set for this Friday and a vote to the supplementary budget. Now, and just as you mentioned, right after that, next Monday, we will see the third and last day of questioning governing officials, which will take place. So we will have to keep an eye on what other discussions will be involved in.
We'll have to keep an eye on for certain. Sung-jin, thanks for coming in tonight.
My pleasure as always, Dami.